A woman says she was pulled over by a deputy who handcuffed her to the steering wheel, but authorities say that was no deputy.
Buildings in the Mid-South disappear in the fog, but this fog is different. Tim Simpson calls it freezing fog, and it can be dangerous.
And Mid-South cops hit the books. They go back to school looking for drug dealers and arrest 13 teens at one high school. Hello, everybody. I'm Richard Ransom.
I'm Claudia Barr. This is WREG News Channel 3 at 10. Our big story tonight, a Mid-South community is on the lookout for a man who may be posing as a police officer. He wears a uniform, drives an unmarked car, pulls over women and handcuffs them.
A woman says that's what happened to her in the 1400 block of Bucksnort Road in Covington. Kelly Hessedal is just back with the story. Kelly.
Well, Richard, Tipton County authorities are calling this a very unique case. The 23-year-old woman was released unharmed, and the suspect didn't take anything. It was 9 o'clock Saturday night, and 23-year-old Mallory Utley told deputies she noticed a single flashing blue light behind her, so she pulled over. A man dressed in a green uniform wearing what appeared to be a trooper hat approached her.
Asked her to step out of the vehicle, and she did so. He took her back to his vehicle, which she identified as a black Ford Crown Victoria. According to the report, the man told her she was weaving and that he believed she had been drinking. The suspect cuffed her to the steering wheel, searched her vehicle, but didn't take anything. A short time later, Utley says she was uncuffed and let go. It's a very unique case in that there was no assault, there was no theft of property. Chief Deputy Billy Darty says they saturated the area with officers, but there was no sign of the driver or the car. He says the suspect Utley described was definitely an impostor. The vehicle didn't match any of the cars in their fleet. The man's uniform didn't match either. The sewn-on badge and name tag, the lapel mic for the radio, and the duty belt with all the equipment necessary for the patrol duties. This is the only time anyone's reported an incident of a fake cop in Tipton County. So while Chief Darty investigates, he offers this advice. We do encourage the public, if they are stopped by a vehicle that is unmarked and they feel uncomfortable, that they are to turn on their flashers and slow down and proceed to a location they feel safe.
And deputies have also checked with authorities in some of the surrounding counties, that is. So far, there haven't been any similar cases reported. We will continue to follow this story and keep you posted. Reporting live in the studio tonight, Kelly Hessedal, WREG News Channel 3.
Happening right now, a thick blanket of fog has settled over the Mid-South. Take a look outside your window and you can barely see the buildings down your street. Now, this is video from downtown Memphis. It's showing the skyline covered in fog and the two bridges almost invisible. That could be a problem if you're going to take a drive tonight. This fog is a freezing fog. What does that mean? Our Tim Simpson is in the Weather Center with more on this foggy warning. Tim.
Well, Claudia, right now the freezing fog advisory has been issued for areas of the Mid-South where the temperatures are below the freezing mark. For example, eastern Arkansas, northwestern parts of Tennessee. That fog actually, because it's made up of moisture, can cause a very fine coating of ice on the roadways. That's why it's so dangerous. A dense fog advisory is in effect for Memphis and across parts of southwestern Tennessee and north Mississippi until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're already watching some rain develop here, also across the northern parts of Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas. That coverage is going to increase overnight tonight, so we are going to begin picking up a little more rainfall across north Mississippi, and I will not rule out some rain even across some of these areas of eastern Arkansas where the temperatures are below freezing, so that's going to add some frozen precipitation in the forecast for areas of northeast Arkansas for tonight. I'll have all the details coming up on our forecast in just a few moments, so stay with us. Richard?
All right, we will. Thank you, Tim. When overnight rain froze up this morning, it made for a slippery rush hour, especially on elevated roads and bridges, of course. And nowhere is that a bigger problem than accident-prone Bill Morris Parkway. This is video after a multi-car accident at Forest Hill, Irene. TDOT says it's experimenting with a high-tech de-icing spray in the eastern part of the state, but using that on Bill Morris Parkway just isn't in the budget these days.
Developing tonight, an undercover drug sting leads to 13 arrests, and this drug sting happened at a Shelby County high school. Police left their guns and badges at home. They went undercover in the school with backpacks and books to see if drugs were being sold. The end to months of investigation went down at Millington High School right after the school day began. WREG News Channel 3's Sean Shiabat is here with more on Operation Trojan Horse. Sean.
Well, cops sent a Trojan horse into the home of the Trojans and took crime fighting from the streets to the classroom. It only took one drug deal to take Damian Cormier from the schoolyard to behind bars. Police say he sold pot to another student who was really an undercover cop. A letter to parents described how 13 students were caught selling drugs and how Millington High School students should keep their eyes wide open.
I know folks gotta watch out now. I guess there's just people everywhere watching us. We didn't even know.
Obviously, we had to find someone who was young, had some semblance of intelligence.
Most students had no idea a cop had been posing as a classmate since August. But police say from the beginning it was hard to keep the officers cover. In high school, rumors spread quickly, but that also made the job easier.
It doesn't take long to get into an environment like that to hear who's doing this and who's doing that.
Police caught on video and audio tape drug deals that could have brought ecstasy, pot, and even crack into the classroom. After this sting, the message is clear. Drug dealers won't find safety here.
You got to get rid of them somehow, so get rid of the drugs and everything.
I would say the message that this sends, if you want to get involved in any criminal activity involving drugs, Millington Central High School is probably the last school you want to be enrolled in, because chances are you're going to get caught.
Now, this isn't the first drug sting at that high school, but it is the first time that a cop has posed as a student. The 13 students arrested face automatic expulsions. Reporting live, Sean Shiaba, WREG News Channel 3.
New at 10 tonight, the Memphis Police Director may finally have a new tool to help hire more officers. Director Godwin, business leaders, and both mayors were pushing for relaxed residency requirements, but the City Council shot that down. Tonight, the almighty dollar may give potential recruits the incentive they're looking for to move to Memphis. News Channel 3's Omari Fleming is here with details. Omari?
Well, Richard, that idea is heaven sent for some council members. Even the police director. New recruits will not get that $10,000 bonus, but the council voted to approve tuition reimbursement and moving expenses. Police director Larry Godwin calls the incentives added weapons in his arsenal that he's using to make new hires.
This TV commercial is just one of the weapons aimed at recruiting 500 Memphis police officers by 2011. And thanks to the council's vote tonight, Director Larry Godwin says he's got some added firepower to lure officers from out of town.
That item passes. Next item.
The council approved Councilman Bill Morrison's resolution to give incentives to new recruits. After January, they'll get up to $5,000 in college reimbursement. Some will also get moving expenses. Move into Shelby County and you can get up to $3,500. Into Memphis, you get $5,000.
When we start advertising in other cities, I think that's where you'll see this benefit play a role.
Approving the incentives, like anything at City Council, didn't come without drama. Councilman Shay Flynn urged his fellow council members to pass the resolution, take action, do something.
Am I taking crazy pills? Are you kidding me? This is not public service.
I can't see paying somebody out of the finances of the city to move and they stop before they get to Memphis. That doesn't make sense to me.
Despite her opposition, Councilwoman Ware decided to support the plan, music to Director Godwin's ears, but he still has questions.
If I live in South Haven, Mississippi, and I move to Memphis, or if I live in Nashville, Knoxville, Boston, you know, or do you go by strictly the moving offenses, and what kind of bill are you looking for? I don't know all those things.
The answers to those questions will be hammered out by a council committee who will make a final decision on whether to approve the incentives come January. If they are approved, they'll be put to a vote. It's also important to note that state legislators have drafted a bill to force Memphis to relax its residency requirements for police. That bill can't be considered, though, by the legislature before February. Reporting live in studio, Omari Fleming, WREG News Channel 3.
Thank you, Maury. Well, 27 years ago, a 6-year-old boy in Florida was abducted and murdered. It was an especially heinous crime.
Today, the case was back in the news as police finally put a name and face on the man who murdered little Adam Walsh. Coming up, John Walsh of TV's America's Most Wanted talks about the final chapter in the search for his son's killer.
Police in Virginia pull over a speeder in a stolen car with guns inside. But that wasn't the real shocker.
And it's Pass It On Tuesday. The jaws drop when I show up at an oral surgeon's office to find this week's playmaker. Stick around and see what happens next.
Think Popeyes is just for special.
A little boy found murdered 27 years ago. Today, police announced that they have solved the case. 6-year-old Adam Walsh disappeared while shopping with his mom in a mall in South Florida. It was 1981.
Now, the case made national headlines and turned his father into a crime crusader. John Walsh created the show America's Most Wanted. Developing tonight, News Channel 3's Terry Okita with more on how police finally solved this crime.
The 27-year wait for Adam Walsh's family has ended.
The not knowing has been a torture, but that journey's over.
Police in Hollywood, Florida say they believe there's now enough circumstantial evidence to prove drifter Otis Toole abducted and killed 6-year-old Adam Walsh back in 1981.
In 3 decades, Otis Toole has been the suspect. From confessions to sightings to witness interviews, it's all there.
Police say Toole took Adam from a shopping mall, then killed and decapitated him. Toole was a convicted killer sitting on Florida's death row for an unrelated murder when he died in 1996. Police say if he were alive today, they'd arrest him for Adam's murder. John Walsh says he always believed Toole did it.
I believe wherever he is paying and being held accountable for his actions.
Adam's case went unsolved for 27 years, in part due to botched police work. His father turned their grief into a national crusade against crime, launching the TV show America's Most Wanted. On Tuesday, the police chief apologized for the flawed investigations and said he hopes the latest developments bring closure. Adam's mother says this was a wonderful day, despite the circumstances.
There's no words that can tell you how I feel. Listening to the words that came off of Chief Wagner's lips just penetrate my soul.
At times, the Walshes had to choke back tears, saying nothing will ever bring closure, but this ends a painful chapter in their lives. Terry Okita, CBS News.
Police in Virginia got a real shock when they pulled over a driver speeding down the highway. He was just 12 years old. Turns out the child was run away in a stolen car, and he drove all the way from North Carolina into Virginia. Officers pulled him over when he was doing 70 in a 55-mile zone. They also found 2 loaded guns in the car. The boy surrendered, but won't tell police why he ran away, where he's from, or where he got the guns. Police in Florida arrested a woman they say abducted her 2 daughters from a foster home in Pennsylvania. The 3 have been missing for 2 weeks. Turns out the mother dug a hole under a beach playground and the 3 were living there. Police found the older daughter begging for food at a shopping mall. The children were in foster care because the mother was deemed unfit to care for them.
We Americans tend to think of people from Britain as being a bit stuffy. Although my playmaker in this week's Pass It On came from England years ago, she's every bit a Mid-Southerner now. Watch as I give this oral surgeon's assistant $300 and a 60-minute deadline to pass it on, because the recipient may give us all a lesson in these tough economic times. Excuse me.
Hello, Forrest. How you doing?
I'm looking for Teresa.
Oh gosh, well come on back.
One thing I love about passing it on is the element of surprise.
Teresa.
Where is she?
She's right here.
Teresa!
Oh, hey!
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good to see you. Following up on an email we got from you.
Yes, you did. Oh, wonderful.
Teresa Olswing emailed me weeks ago, but had no idea when or if we'd show up. Now she's about to be my playmaker and get $300 to pass it on. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you
okay?
so much. Yes.
You ready to do it?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's do
it.
But first, she has to get permission from her boss, an oral surgeon.
I'll be gone for about an hour. Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine.
We drive to rural Arlington at a tiny house off Highway 64. So small, you might not think anyone lives there. Cardboard covers the windows.
I'm thrilled to death. I can't wait to give it to them, and they will be excited. They'll just love it.
Carolyn and Tyrone Smith live in this house. Teresa met the couple through a mutual interest in helping stray pets.
Hey! That's Carolyn. Hey, Carolyn. How are you, darling?
Good.
How are you? You okay?
Carolyn's the first to admit she and her husband don't have much.
I don't have a bathroom yet, but, you know, it's home.
Tyrone was at work at Backyard Burger. He's making progress on the new bathroom, but the outside will have to do until it's ready. Oh, much colder in here. The rest of this 3-room house is cold. Blankets are used to keep at least one room warm.
It's hard, but I still say, each and every morning, thank God. Because, see, a lot of people don't have what I have. And what I have, I'm thankful for.
So when Teresa pulls out the money, before she can even pass it on, the tears start to flow.
It's okay. It's all right. You deserve it. Oh, honey, don't cry. There we go. You all right? Well, you can cry after I give it to you. And if you want to know how to spend it, call me and I'll help you. All right, my darling, here we go. You ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go. Oh, you're welcome.
Carolyn says this surprise visit has made her Christmas.
Lord Jesus, my grandchildren have Christmas now. My grandkids have a Christmas now because I didn't know how I was going to do it.
And you get the feeling Teresa's Christmas,
Isn't she sweet?
very sweet,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Bless their hearts.
is made as well.
It's just wonderful. It just really is good. Because I know she really could use it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just lovely to give it to someone like her.
I love her accent.
Wasn't that
I
great?
love her. She's
Isn't she
wonderful.
great?
Oh, my goodness.
Carolyn has a heart condition that keeps her from working, so they're just, a couple just trying to get by right now like so many others. By the way, Teresa and her husband pitched in $300 more after we taped our segment last week, so they truly have the pass it on spirit.
That happens a lot, I noticed.
Yeah, it kind of catches. After
grows.
people, yeah, that's a
What
good
a
thing.
wonderful
That's a good
story.
thing. Tim
Wonderful
Simpson's here with
story.
weather.
My favorite segment.
Isn't it great?
Man,
It was fun.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. Well, tonight I've got some fog to pass along to you, okay? Not quite as good as that $300, but we got some fog to talk about here. Dense fog advisory in effect for Memphis, parts of southwestern Tennessee, north Mississippi. A freezing fog advisory up across eastern Arkansas and northwest Tennessee because that's where the temperatures are below freezing. There is some rainfall working in from north Mississippi, and I do expect this to increase in coverage overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Now, here at the TV station, we're at 31 degrees. That's the current temperature. 35 above freezing at the Sacred Heart School in South Haven, 38 down at Ole Miss and Oxford. But as we go to the map tonight, you can see who's above freezing. Memphis, Jackson, up to 41 in Nashville, the I-40 corridor, if you will. Everything south here above freezing. To the north, Jonesboro, Cape Girardeau, still below freezing, and you're going to remain at that point all night long. Visibilities have been greatly reduced. 0.2 of a mile visibility here in Memphis tonight. 1.5 over in Jackson. Half a mile visibility up in Dyersburg. So you want to allow some extra time if you have to travel tonight or as you're headed to work tomorrow morning. What's going on is a frontal boundary to the south here. We have overrunning moisture, warm, moist air coming over the cold air that's in place and beginning to see more rainfall develop here across North Mississippi. And as I mentioned, that's going to be the trend tonight. And as that rain develops in those colder temperatures to the north, we could still see some frozen precip as we get into early tomorrow morning. Here comes the warm front. You won't feel the effects of this really tomorrow, but on Thursday as it continues pushing northward, you'll see the temperature surging into the 60s. So that's when you'll feel the effects of that. Cloudy skies, a little bit of patchy rainfall here as we get into early tomorrow morning. We're looking better tomorrow afternoon. But as far as temperatures go, check them out. This is showing rain around here around 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Temperatures still above freezing. The numbers won't move that much at all from where we are right now. The temps will remain pretty much steady overnight and still below freezing to the north, Jonesboro and Dyersburg around 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then we warm up into the 30s and 40s by 3 o'clock tomorrow with that rainfall departing. So the forecast tonight, dense fog, light rain, 34, 35, about wherever you are right now is where you'll stay tonight. Then tomorrow, a foggy start, slightly warmer, up to 44 degrees, but there's better news in the 7-day forecast. 44 tomorrow. Then on Thursday, we're up to 65 degrees. It'll be much warmer. Still some rain chances on Thursday. On Friday, mostly cloudy skies, 66 degrees as the numbers just keep on rising. But not for long. 62 Saturday, we start dropping again Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. So we're kind of seesawing back and forth between the 40s and the 60s for daytime highs and overnight low temperatures in the 30s and the 40s. So that's how things are shaping up for the next 7 days or so. And Richard and Claudia, I wish I had some better news for you as far as that fog goes in the morning, but really take it easy, allow the extra time tomorrow morning, especially if you're in the areas of northeast Arkansas, northwestern Tennessee, where the numbers are below freezing. You'll see a little light layer of ice on the roadways.
The fog is dangerous anyway.
You're not kidding.
Not all the other.
Watch out for that black ice, yeah.
Yep. Well, sports fans will sometimes go to great lengths to show their team support and have a good time doing it.
They do, which is just what some Cleveland Brown fans were trying to do when they planned a special tailgating party. But leave it to the cops to have an unsportsmanlike attitude about the fans' tailgating furniture.
And a town in Iowa has a special blend of salt for icy roads. And it not only melts the ice, it keeps away vampires.
This portion of News Channel 3's Pass It On is sponsored by Wolf Chase Chrysler Dodge Jeep.
Every day is a great day for a holiday with our prices at Wolf Chase Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Look at this brand new Dodge Ram for just $13,995 or just $249 a month. Now that's a year-end sell-a-thon price at Wolf Chase. Are you going to shop anywhere else? I don't think so.
Turkey.
A Cleveland man was ticketed by cops for driving an unauthorized vehicle to a football game. That vehicle is a couch being moved on a riding mower. He drove it several blocks to the Cleveland Browns game over the weekend. Mike Meredith calls it his go couch. The first officer he passed laughed and let him move on. A second officer did not. He said the vehicle was not registered and not authorized to be on the streets. He probably wasn't a Browns fan.
Probably not. Funny. It costs a lot of money to salt the roads every time it snows, but one town has a unique approach to saving cash using garlic salt. The town near Des Moines received 9 tons of garlic salt from a local spice company. They diluted it with regular road salt. It has a yellow color, and drivers say you can smell it when you hit the road. It even makes you hungry, but experts say salt is salt, and it all works just the same in keeping the roads from getting too slippery.
And it keeps away vampires.
It keeps away vampires, too. Now here's a look at tomorrow's headlines tonight from News Channel 3 and the Commercial Appeal.
International Paper is the latest Memphis employer to announce job cuts, 1,500 of them, and a few hundred will be in Memphis.
A look at one of the must-have toys for Christmas. It's called Bakugan. Find out what that is on page 1.
And the CAA launches a new webpage to show you how to make holiday snacks. It runs through Christmas Eve. That's tomorrow in the Commercial Appeal. Sports is next.
Tonight, Dave's all new with Tom Cruise. And later this week, Jennifer Aniston, Will Smith, and Jerry Seinfeld.
You're just happy because this doesn't cost you anything.
Chuck. Glenn Carver, News Channel 3 Sports.
And the Grizzlies returning to action tonight, looking to extend their longest win streak in 3 seasons. The Grizz playing for a 5th straight win as they hosted the New Orleans Hornets, and Chris Paul, who did what he does best, get others involved. Paul with 18 points and 9 assists as the Hornets led it 26-11 after 1. But the Grizz would rally behind Rudy Gay, who finished with 28 points. The Grizz actually taking a 2-point lead early in the 4th. O.J. Mayo pitching in with 20 of his own, but the Hornets showed up strong late in this one. They snapped the Grizzlies' win streak with a 91-84 victory. Things don't get any easier for 16th-ranked Tennessee. A few days after a rough loss at Temple, the Vols taking on number 24 Marquette tonight in the SEC Big East Challenge. This one has been nip and tuck all the way, tied at 32 at the half. Right now, with about 8 minutes left, the Vols are leading Marquette 56-49. All right, in their 5-2 start to this season, the Tigers have played 2 teams that are ranked, Xavier and Georgetown, both of those close losses. After tomorrow's game with Arkansas Little Rock, the Tigers host number 11 Syracuse on Saturday, an Orange team that will come into FedEx Forum angry and motivated after being upset by Cleveland State last night by this half-court buzzer beater. But the Tigers only have a few chances left to get some marquee wins, but Calipari says he's not going to put any added importance on this Syracuse game.
It's a long season. The greatest news is we got the tournament here. Right. We always got a backdrop of the tournament here. We've got a couple of more road games that are going to be very, very hard for us to win. But if you upset one of those people, you're fine. Our league is better, so you're going to be able to lose a game or 2 in your league, and it's not going to be like devastation. We still have some home games left. Way too early to talk in terms of having to have wins. It's December. To be a 1 seed or a 2 seed, yeah. To get in a tournament and do what we're trying to do, we're okay.
All right, Ole Miss has sold close to 21,000 tickets for its Cotton Bowl showdown with Texas Tech, and a couple of seniors are a big reason why today offensive tackle Michael Orr and defensive tackle Parade Jerry were named first-team All-Americans by the Associated Press. First time in school history, 2 players have earned that honor. And former Tiger kicker Stephen Gostkowski has been named to his first Pro Bowl. The New England Patriots kicker leads the AFC in scoring. 6 Tennessee Titans named to the Pro Bowl, including 3 starters: corner Cortland Finnegan, defensive tackle Albert Haynesworth, and center Kevin Mawai. We'll be right back.
Batteries Plus is your one-stop source for anything that needs a battery. Remember, if it needs a battery, all you need is Batteries Plus, America's battery experts.
After the
Thank you so much for joining us, and drive safely.
Absolutely. Be careful out there. Freezing fog, fog.
Take it slow. Yeah, slow and easy.
Appreciate you being here with us at News Channel 3.
Another great